Hey there, thank you for tuning into this week's video where I'll be sharing with you 5 reasons why late bloomers are suddenly making it in almost every industry and how you too can apply the same simple strategies to level up, glow up. Some people say reinvent yourself, but I'll just say so that you too can bloom, flourish, and finally experience what it means to really enjoy a fulfilled life. I'm making this video because a lot of gifted women, especially in their late 30s, 40s, and above, are sitting on big dreams and playing small. How do I know this? Recently, I decided to look back at my coaching sessions of last year and even those after my workshop in January, just to identify what were the common pain points that kept coming up repeatedly during those sessions so that I can put together some helpful materials and also video content for this channel as well. So I found some specific roadblocks that were common to women in this age group, which I'm going to be sharing in the subsequent videos. But as I was putting these materials together, it just dawned on me that I'm not the only one blooming in my later years. I realized that lately, a lot of those you would consider late bloomers are knocking down all these roadblocks and living their dream lives. So I was super excited to put together these top 5 things that late bloomers are doing differently to level up, and you too can start doing same today. The first thing is that late bloomers are beginning to challenge the idea that life ends at 25. They are beginning to question what they have believed all along about age. We were told that by 18, you should be crystal clear about what you want to do with your life. And then by 25, that life should already be falling in place. Like, really? And because you fall outside this age gap, you believe that it's done for you. It's too late for me to change my career path, too late for me to climb up that career ladder, too late for me to go back to school, too late for me to start a family and be a homemaker, too late for me to create new friendships, or it's too late for me to learn new things or to get back in shape or to, develop new habits and become the gracious woman that I've always wanted to be. If you keep looking at your life like an hourglass timer, you will either give up too soon and close your eyes to opportunities, or you will start living your life in a mad rush. I know that in order to stay consistent and achieve your goals, you need some sense of urgency towards your goals. But you don't have to be in this constant state of fear, stress, anxiety, rush. Oh my goodness, I'm going to miss out. Then you actually miss out on every moment of this life that you're trying not to waste. When you keep holding on to this it's too late idea, you stop seeing opportunities when they show up. And even if you do see them, you're not prepared for them. If you do not believe that you can grow in that company, you're not going to set yourself up for the promotion. If you don't believe that you can learn new things, you'll not even try. Maybe deep down you believe that you should be taking a new path, but you are too afraid because you think it's too late. I always say that it's better you reach the right destination a little bit later than you expected than to rush and be on time at the wrong location. You'll be miserable. So please consider challenging the thought that it's too late. Why? Why do you think it's too late? Put down the answers and you realize that most of them are centered either around fear, self-doubt, or what you have been told. Now, talking about self-doubt, that brings us to the second reason. Late bloomers are beginning to recognize their self-worth. It's difficult to succeed beyond the level of your personal growth and development, and understanding who you are is part of it. In order to bloom, you have to recognize and embrace the fact that you have a purpose, you add value, you bring something to the table, and you're that additional drop of water that makes the ocean. The late bloomers you see succeeding out there have presented themselves in their different industries as people who have something to offer. It's difficult for you to be valued beyond the level that you value yourself. So level up first by changing your thoughts. Start seeing yourself as a contributor and not only as a consumer. As long as you still have breath, you have something to contribute, because we all have been given the ability to do certain things well. I started to bloom as a mom when I stopped seeing myself as just this human being with a womb that is popping out babies and started to see myself as a mother, a nurturer. It really hurts me when I see people say, I'm just a mom. Just? Look at how many people credit their success to their upbringing and how many people blame their failure to it as well. This should tell you that bringing up or raising up human beings, when you yourself are struggling to figure out things, it's a huge job. It's a big assignment. So if all you ever do on earth here is be a mom, walk around like a big contributor to the society, because you really are. I equally began to bloom as a wife when I stopped seeing myself just as this woman in a man's house and started to see myself as the helpmeet that I'm called to be, which means I add value to that relationship. So I sat down and asked myself, what does this really mean and how does it look like? This turned me into a very confident woman. And let me tell you, a real man finds very attractive a woman who knows her worth, yet carries herself with a lot of grace and respect. And when I talk about knowing your worth and your value, I'm not talking about being arrogant here. A confident woman does not go around being nasty, putting others down, being threatened by the success of those around her. In fact, people like that are actually struggling with low self-esteem, and they just put on this fake coat of confidence. A lot of these late bloomers have taken the time to reflect, understood themselves, their passions, strengths, weaknesses, where they want to go. And because of this clarity, they are beginning to succeed. Now, pay close attention to this next reason. Late bloomers are succeeding because they are operating from a place of wisdom. And I know you may be saying, I know I'm a late bloomer, but I don't consider myself a wise person. I'm going to prove to you that you are wise, or that you can operate from the place of wisdom. You know, we always say gray hair is wisdom, but I'd like to fall on this quote that says, knowledge comes from reading, but wisdom comes from living. You have lived long enough. You've seen some good and bad days, some happy and sad days. You've made some good decisions and you've made some dumb ones as well. All of this living put together qualifies you to walk from the place of wisdom. Let me share some key areas of wisdom that is putting the late bloomers up there. One area of wisdom is that late bloomers are not afraid to ask themselves tough questions. When I look back to my younger self, there were times I would say some things just to console myself, and I did not even realize that is what I was doing. Fast forward to now, I would ask myself the toughest questions, even when they really don't feel good. Because I think later on in life, you realize that the worst kind of lies you can ever tell are the lies you tell yourself. One of the things that bother me is when I see someone who clearly needs to make certain changes in their lives, and people go, you're okay, you're fine, you don't have to do anything. You know, as a human being, you're beautiful, you're fearfully, and you are wonderfully made. I already established that before, that you are valuable, you carry something within you. But what's not okay may be your habits. Those habits may be overshadowing, covering your true potential. And so if you keep living the lie that I am okay and you do not want to face those deep truths, you will never rise up and bloom to where you are supposed to bloom. Are you sure your spending habits are okay? Are you sure it's okay that you spend the whole day gossip, scroll through the phone, you go to work late, give bare minimum, get your paycheck, squander it within that same week? Are you sure all that habit is okay? Are you sure you're okay with the way you're relating with people? Are you fine with your relationships? Are you sure you're okay with the way you have kept your physical environment, all that clutter? Remember that you're not asking yourself these tough questions in order to sink in regret and shame and guilt. You just want to see a clear picture. It's until you have clarity for where you are, where your own starting point is, that you can now insert the address for where you want to go, and your GPS is going to start moving. It's until you know where you are that you can have clarity for what your next level is and what is that step you need to take. Another area of wisdom is that late bloomers do not despise their past experiences. They don't look at it in shame and regret, but they look at it like the building years that have brought them to where they are right now. I think in later years, it's almost as though you're looking at your life from above. Right now, I feel like some puzzle pieces that made no sense to me, that felt like delays, felt like mistakes, why I had some passions and did not have some, why people were expecting me to do certain things or not do certain things, but I did not feel the same way. All of those things are beginning to make sense to me right now. which means in your later years, you are able to start piecing those puzzles together. And as you're bringing them, it's beginning to form a picture that makes sense. And that clarity helps you to move faster. So if there's something you are going to pay more attention to, is to take all the experiences that you have been through. Instead of it being a source of you throwing a pity party, let it be a way of you gaining clarity for your next level. They've also gained the wisdom to chase only what truly matters. High achievers have understood that productivity is not just about getting things done, but getting the things that matter done. So at this stage of your life, you're not afraid to say yes to the things that you want to pursue and to say no to time wasters. But in order to chase what matters and to do so from a place of balance, you have to set healthy boundaries around your time and your energy. But this wisdom also makes you understand that in building healthy boundaries, you should not build walls and lock yourself up. You cannot do it alone. You need support, you need a community, you need networking. There's no such thing as a self-made man, but you don't have to carry the whole village along. And above all, the wisdom to show yourself grace. Anything worth pursuing takes time and energy. And you get to a place in your life where you start pursuing excellence and no longer perfection, trying to prove a point, trying to please anybody. No, you stay on your course, you stay on your path. When you fall, you push yourself, and you do so with a lot of grace and mercy and compassion. The next reason is that there are more role models today to draw inspiration from. It's difficult to walk towards a change you don't believe can happen. And sometimes when you look around you and you see people who have walked that path that you think is so difficult and they made it, it inspires you. You feel like, okay, this is possible. This is March, right? We are still celebrating Women's History Month. And when I look back to the women of old who took some risky moves and there were no role models around them, I really salute them. And I think that because today we have a lot of role models, people who have walked some paths that we want to walk and have succeeded, I think we should do better. Right now, if you have fear and doubt about the path that you want to take because you think it's too late, if you look around, you would see someone who has walked that path and has succeeded. In movies, in modeling, in the food industry, entrepreneurship, homemaking, you're going to see people who have done it at your age or even older. And I think that is very inspiring. When I just started on my growth journey, like fully walking in what I believe I've been called to do, very quickly I started to struggle with time management. Like managing the different hats that I had on was a struggle. And I remember thinking at some point, why am I trying to deceive? Who am I trying to deceive right here? This thing is not, it's not possible, but then thank God for role models. And I found a role model right at home, my own mom. My mom has been in ministry for years, but I don't remember a time that she wasn't there for us as a mother. I don't remember growing up with a woman who did not love and respect her husband. I don't remember when she wasn't there for the extended family or for the community or for the church. I am able to see that it's possible to pursue your dreams without sacrificing the other things that truly matter to you. And there are so many other role models that are walking the path that I want to walk. So when I come here and I say that I want to share content with you that will help you fully walk in your purpose in a way that you do not compromise your principles and your values, and you do not fall into this crazy burnout that the world is trying to normalize. These are not just sweet words I'm throwing out there. These are things I truly believe, and there are role models around me that I can look and say that this is possible. So my challenge for you is that go look for role models in your industry. People who have walked the path that you want to walk in the way that you want to walk it and have succeeded, who have overcome the roadblocks that are similar to the ones that you are facing right now. They will be a source of inspiration, a source of motivation, and above all, you can even get tips and tricks on how they went about things applied in your own life so you too can bloom even in your later years. Finally, this is one of the main reasons why late bloomers are blooming. And that's because they are not only changing their mindsets, but they are actually taking action. taking little baby steps in the direction of the things they believe they have been called to do. They've developed the habit of showing up in little ways every day in the different areas of their lives. You will not be able to achieve your goals if you do not have habits, routines, and actions that take you closer to that goal. You've also developed a new mindset. Now you believe that it's not too late to chase your dreams. Yes, there are role models to inspire and motivate you, but do you know whose stories are the most inspiring and motivating? Your own victory stories. So my challenge for you is to take action. Start and finish something, no matter how small. Keep the promise that you made to yourself. What promise did you make to yourself at the beginning of the year? The habits you were going to develop, the things you were going to stop, whatever promise you made. How are you planning to show up every day in little ways, beginning from today, so that you will go closer towards fulfilling the promise you made to yourself? Because when you say it and you do it and you check it off, it builds confidence in you. You begin to put those little victory stories in your little victory basket. And when self-doubt pops up, you have all these victory stories, these little milestones. And when you bring those stories out, self-doubt will have no space and you would have the confidence to keep moving forward. Now, I know that there are so many other factors contributing to late bloomers blooming, but here are my top 5 and I hope you found them helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more videos like this. If you watched up till the end, thank you. Thank you so much. I do not take for granted your time, your likes, your shares, and your beautiful comments. They mean a lot to me and to the growth of this channel. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next.